How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm here to give you another Digimon Ghost Game episode review and recap. No reactions here, only talking through you. Today's episode is called Warped Time. I just said I just talk through you. No, I'm going to talk to you. And since I'm talking to you guys, please remember give me a like, comment, and a subscribe. Those things definitely help out the channel as we are rocketing on our way to 200 subscribers. So, remember last episode, I was upset because they changed a rather pleasant Digimon into some bloodthirsty, crazy thing, and then we still don't have evolutions. So I was going to give it to episode 10. We're on episode 9, and I think I think I'm just about ready to say what I have to say about this show. But let's talk about what happens today's episode. So Hero's asleep, but he's not really asleep because we keep getting flashes of his eyes open, his eyes closed, and he is up there looking down at himself. And he suddenly wakes up. Gamamon is always sleeping at the foot of his bed, and yeah, he wakes up and he looks around. His clock says 10 o'clock. He's late for school, and so they do a good job of having us in excuse me, of having us in his perspective because time is disjointed for him. His Digivice says the wrong time too. Um, he gets to school. He gets to a friend. He thought it was 4 o'clock. It's actually 4:30. They do the military time, so 16:36 or something like that. Then Hiro was late again, getting back to the dorms. Him and Gamamon were waiting for him. He's like, it's barely 7 o'clock. They're like, dude, curfew's almost over. So something's off with sense of time. When Gamamon was just speaking to him in his room, and it was like 22:45, which I want to say was that. It's like 10 o'clock. He looks again, it's midnight, and Gamamon goes from talking to him to being in the bed. And Hiro stayed up all night. He's now with Ruli and Goromon. And, he was actually said he's afraid of going to sleep because just time keeps escaping him. And he puts Gamamon at ease because when Gamamon hears that he's scared, he's Gamamon's so cute and adorable and was just so attentive to his partner. It's wonderful. But he puts him in. He says no, he's okay. And Gorman and Rubli both suggest maybe it's stress. So they say let's take a trip to the library. They're gonna go on a little small adventure. And when he says he's gonna meet up with them, this time he's late again. And Gorman did say that he probably should have gone and gotten them himself, but yeah. But for some reason, Kirishiro and Jellymon is there. I said Senpai was there earlier. I mean Kirishiro. I always call him Senpai because that's what they call him. But anyway, Jellymon heard that the library was haunted. Sometimes people hear clothes rustling as no one's there. Books start to open and close themselves and flip through the pages. And as she's explaining all this, Hiro suddenly gets a ringing in his ear, and he's holding his head, and he gets super vertigo, like everything is warped. Might I mention, every time he had an issue with time, there was the digital spirals, digital circles like they always have when a Digimon's messing with things, and we get this flash of an eye that just comes across, and it's doing the same thing now. And Gamma was really worried about him, but everything stops, and he tells him, "No, I'm fine, I'm okay. We should just go ahead and just get out of here, right?" Well, crazy enough, the same girl that we saw in the little tutorial flashback of the ghost thing, same library girl, she sees a stack of books moving and they're opening and closing themselves. She screams. Our guys go up there to see what's going on, and Jellymon tells the library ghost to appear. And two Digimon pop out. We've seen these two Digimon before. Is Bokumon. He's from Digimon Frontier. These are Frontier pictures. And I'm just gonna give you the official one. Yeah, it looks like a baby with a 5 o'clock shadow. So weird. And Bakuman. Now Bakuman's English name is Tapirmon, obviously because he is a tapir. But the play on the words here is Boko, and Baku, which is making fun of the way of saying book in English, so Buku. Um, Quick little read. Both of these are rookies, and I kind of made fun. I was like, oh, I'm surprised they're not super ultimate mega form Digimon. So, an old man like Digimon wrapped up in a haramaki Is knowledgeable scholar. Actually, that's the thing that Angorma did say. He's actually not a notable scholar in the digital world, very respected. It's actually called Professor by Tapirmon, Bakuman. And so he knows all the things about the digital world that's written inside of this Monoshiri book, but he barely ever shows it to anyone, as it's poor fighting and it's usually boisterous and lively. But when a push comes to shove, it's surprisingly reliable and instantly taking on a serious look. A special move is run away with a tremendous speed while feeling it can't win, which is Negashimo Desh, which is run away. That's literally run away in Japanese. Um, Bakuman, this page is not rolling up. There it is. It's a Digimon with the appearance of a Baku, which is a okay. So Baku is a I won't say demon, but it's a demon spirit that looks like a tapir. It goes around and eats your dreams and eats your nightmares. This is actually what the Pokemon Mushrana is based on as well. So yeah, it goes around and just like it says in here, the encyclopedia says it's a dream-eating mythical beast. It's not that a Digimon that was generated from a medical computer for detecting brainwaves because Bakuman can actually detect brainwaves very, very well. That's what Angorman brought up as well. It seems that it uses data from humans in REM sleep as nourishment. Its recent studies has been proven that it has the power to purge particularly bad nightmares and malignant computer viruses. This is also a vaccine Digimon, while Bokumon is a data type. Anyway, also, since it has the ability to change the captured nightmares and viruses back to normal, it's considered a holy Digimon. If you pay attention closely, it actually is wearing one of those oh so coveted holy rings that a lot of holy Digimon actually wear. So, its special move is releasing its captured nightmares all at once, drawing the opponent in terror, called Nightmare Syndrome. This is the same technique of the ultimate level Digimon, Digitamamon, but it's connected to Bakuman is a mystery. So these are our two Digimon that show up, and go through what's that. Gamamon introduces himself. Apparently, Bokuman's never seen a Gamamon before because he's very interested in him. And so Gamamon introduces himself. Hiro wants to ask several questions while, Pokemon does tell Pokemon, it's like I told you, be quieter when you take the books. So they go into a separate little room. It's like a little one of those rooms you can take if you want to study things like that. Pretty sure anybody that's gone to college has seen one of those rooms before. And if you haven't, you've gone to a library, you've seen side rooms before. Come on now. So I want to call him Bokumon so bad. Pokemon says in the human world that there are several stages to Digimon. Digimon are typically invisible a lot of times, and they can't see. They can, people can't see them. Kirishiro actually takes off his vital bracelet. It's like, oh yeah, I really can't see even while touching it. And they can go through walls, but they can't touch anything. But they can touch other Digimon while in that form. They go free. They can go freely in and out of digital devices, data, and the internet. The next stage is they're invisible, but they can touch things, and when they can do this, they can't go through walls. The next, in this state, you can kind of see them when you can see them with the digital bracelet, but people can't see them normally. This is what a lot of people call hologram ghosts because they interact with things and can go through walls, but they have to stay calm. Sorry, that was stage number three. It you gotta follow it because a lot of times they don't say next stage. Anyway, but the last stage is called materialization, and they can do essentially they can actually do this at will. What they have to do is factor in emotions because unlike in the digital world, things that come from the heart is important, not data. When in the human world, so I love this lore dump. I appreciate this lore dump. So in other words, first mode, invisible, can't touch anything except for other Digimon, can go into devices. Second mode, um, you're invisible. You can touch things, but you can't go through walls. Third state is the hologram ghost. So you can touch things, move through walls at will. And last one is materialization. Unlike the digital world, oh, I already said that part. So all throughout this, Jellymon is kind of going like, "Oh, I can do that, and I can do that," and someone has to. I think it's Ruli that goes, "It's not a competition. Stop it." Right? And when Digimon when Digimon aren't data like humans, he explains that they use emotions, which, he also explains that there are bad Digimon that get glee from hurting people, and they try to do this to materialize much faster. Really remembers Drakumon, that stupid, stupid Digimon. What's the reason why Digimon come to the human world as Hiro? Don't really know. There seems to be a greater force at work. They came there, Bokomon and Bakumon, because of a digital gate that they happened to just step through. Unfortunately, they are unable to leave and get back to where they were before. Now he says there are quite a few Digimon that can actually go in between in between the human world and the digital world at will. um, in my notes, I also noted that he's way better than the Bokomon from Frontier. I mean this wholeheartedly because Pokemon Frontier looks like a little man with a thing, and the English voice was really. I didn't like the English voice. It was a lot of. I just didn't like it. I prefer this one that's just actively telling you things and not seem like an overly bitchy character, like always complaining and blah 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 blah. I like this one a lot more. Hiro says that his father actually is in the digital world, and based on data that Pokemon has, he thinks that humans might burn up if they go through a digital gate. And Ruli actually really wants to visit the digital world. Remember that world they go to when they hit their little things? It's not the digital world. It's a world between worlds. Imagine, think the network from Frontier 2020, that little blue area. Think that, right? And Hero has much more questions. One of them is he wants to see that book that Pokemon has, which, of course, even the encyclopedia said, he doesn't let anybody just read it. Gamamon so cutely tells Ruli that he is definitely, definitely hungry, and the whole point that Ruli made of even wanting to come there was to actually go to this sweet shop that has these parfaits. So of course she has this nice parfait, Jellymon has this nice parfait, and Gamamon has the chocolate one. And they all just left Hero. They think she's like, well, we probably should have told him, but yeah, it's fine. He'll be okay. And funny thing is, a little girl walks by and sees the Digimon eating, and her mom thinks that it's just an advertisement. What kind of world they live in? Just super, super digital all the time, right? Anyway, Hero finally knows. Oh, sorry. Hero finally notices that everybody's gone. He wants to visit Bokumon again since Bokumon is mainly in the library. And he says, "Yeah, fine. Just make sure you bring Gamamon too." Um, when he finally realizes everybody left, he goes out, and for some reason, his time starts to mess with his head. He starts getting all wibbly wobbly and timey wimey, and out of the blue, not out of the blue. We all saw this coming. I told you this coming last week. From the clock comes Clockmon. He asks the same question if he knows what time it is, and he says if you mess with someone's sense of time, their sense of space gets messed up, and it seems like they're falling. So he's been the one doing this the whole time. He's been waiting to get Hero all by himself. Well, Gabumon senses that Hero's about to be attacked, and Hero does a smart thing, clicks his little watch, his little digivice, and sends them all into the digital world. I say digital world, into that little digital area, right? And Clockmon's taken back for a while, but he doesn't care. He's going in for the kill. He wants to get Hero's time. And a beam stops him. And the beam actually heals Hero because it came from Bakumon. Bakumon's holy ring that was on that little arm. And Bakumon essentially tells him, yeah, he can use this to dispel nightmares from demons and affliction from demons. Which, it's not a one for one for what we read. But it makes sense, right? He can heal afflictions. So suddenly, right when he's gonna get ready to go in for the attack again, Gamamon tackles him, says, "Oh, it's the bad vibes guy," right? And Gamamon's starting to go dark once more. And funny thing enough, he's getting his dark form. And actually, Clockmon remembers that dark form from a long time ago. He does his Chrono Breaker attack. But he didn't want to fight him, but he's gonna do it anyway. And of course, Bokumon. Fuck it, I'm gonna call him Bokumon. Pardon my language. Bokumon basically tells everyone, "Yeah, this is the guy that was messing with Hiro," and Hiro says, "Yeah, he's after my time again." And Rudy's like, "Oh, okay." So information is being passed on. So as he's doing the Chrono Breaker attack, Gabumon goes dark again, and this thing just goes and hits Clockmon, and Clockmon's body starts to glow, and his ticker is starting to go faster. The hands of his clock is moving faster, and Bokomon says, "Looks like his Chrono Breaker was reversed," or maybe Angoramon says it. Yeah, Angoramon says that the attack was reflected, and his time is moving faster and faster. And Bokomon says, "There's really not nothing we can do to help. Remember this. There's nothing we can really do to help." And everyone's kind of looking sadly on, like he's moving forward. He's like, "Save me, Tascade." His arms, the little clock thing's arms falling off because he's starting to rust out and break down. And then Hero's like, "I want to help him." And I wrote, "This is dumb." I still think this is dumb. Garamon says, "You know what? Let's help him." Digivolves into Beto Gamamon. He looks at Bokomon and says, "Can we help him?" Bokomon says, "You realize you might be attacked again. That's alright, it doesn't matter. All you gotta do is just make his clock go backwards, right?" That's not the dumb part. That's not the dumb part. So everybody attacks, we get the Betomon's attack at Sword Shot or something. Uh, Sword Shot, Petite Tornado, BB Thunder. They're hitting it, and the clock slows. It says, "Now, gotta rewind it with all you got." New attack pops up. It's Sword Blow. Guess what? I hate Sword Blow. You know why? Because he said it 10 times in a row. It's not a or. It's Sword Blow, Sword Blow, Sword Blow, Sword Blow. Because he has to keep punching to increase the reversal of it. And he's doing it over and over again. And as he's doing it, Clockmon gets repaired. The little clock thing, gets the arms back and everything else. And they do it so well, they fully materialize him. Because they're all back in the real world. He's, materialized Clockmon. Is another dumb part. He says, "Man, I guess I can't, you know, attack people again after meeting you guys." And then Hero goes, "Don't attack anybody here, period." I don't think that's a translation error. That is fucking stupid. He says he can't attack people after meeting with you. Don't say don't attack people anyway, because he said he wasn't going to. You wasted your fucking breath. I do not think that was an error. Do not think that was an error. Do not think that was an error. Let me go. Let me just continue. We get Angoramon's. It's not a haiku because I don't think these are 5, 7, 5 syllables. There's another little poem saying time continues to flow forward forever. Sorry, it cannot be resisted. It cannot be touched. It cannot be eaten. And our Clockmon's about to leave, but Bokomon's like, "Hey, you can't walk around the human world like that. You're gonna get invisible training with us." And actually, Angoramon and Gamamon want to learn from as well. Because remember, Gamamon can only be physical, and Angoramon is only that little semi-invisible state that they can only see when they have the bracelets on, where you can interact with things. Nuts. Interact with things but not go through walls, right? So that's form the state number 3. So they all want to train, and Hero looks down at Gamamon and goes, "I wonder what that dark thing was." Next week's episode, fighting games with the Oculus. It looks like I count 3 Digimon. I think those 3 Digimon are Megas because they look like they're part of the Olympus 12. So, Pokemon does mention about the evolution. I skipped that because I was getting upset. He says it seems like their feelings combine. When their feelings combine, that's when the evolution happens. And he wonders if there's more things that could be done with that. Yeah. I'm trying to wait for episode 10 to show up. I'm trying. I'm going to be true to my word. Wait for 10. but this is going to get the highest of threes. At the very most, this is a 3.5. And here is why. You know what? I said I'm going to keep shooting my word. It's a low 4. Because of the lore dump. Because we finally got a Digimon to say, here's the different forms of it. Here's why sometimes you guys can't see them and they're messing with everything. Here's why sometimes things can move. Here's why people are able, this third form, people can see them. You know, when they're invisible, you guys can wear these and kind of sort of see us, but here's why they're invisible. Here's why sometimes you can see them. Blah, 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 blah. I appreciate that. It's a thing that needed to be said, even though I kind of picked up on it. And I don't think a lot of people really would have cared that much, but it's nice that they're identifying this and that. Now, we have a lore character that's not just Angoramon, but a character that can talk to us about more things. It's Yokai Watch. It's Yokai Watch. If it's not Yokai Watch, I can't remember. I can't remember a lot of the animes I watched as a kid where there's monsters and you're befriending these monsters, you're teaming up with them. But hell, even Monster Rancher, and I made a Suezo, I made a Suezo reference in my Yashahime video last week. Even Monster Rancher, they might not have killed them, but they beat them up and sent them on their way, right? I don't. Is this show really for Digimon fans that are around my age? Is it? Because this seems more like Happy Fun Time. I like Happy Fun Time, but I like the investigations. I like the whole premise of being like, here's these urban legends, guys. Even this week's episode was like a slight nod to Ghostbusters. When you think about the first Ghostbusters movie and the library goes, I can see that. I can appreciate those things. I just don't like. All right, this first guy. By the way, here's a darkness. Here's a darkness form for this Digimon. The darkness form shows up again. What is it about Clockmon that this guy really hates? Is it because he's attacking Hiro? Well, hey, guess what? Last fucking week, Hiro was gonna probably die in that death race. He didn't go dark then. Don't even care about Majoramon. Don't care about that. What about Mummymon when he's been wrapped up? He didn't go dark then. Why is it just Clockmon? If Clockmon is really that ruthless and vile, which it was turning 12 teenagers, turn kids and other people into old people. It stole life force from folks. Yeah, you beat them so hard it all went back out. I don't give a shit. So, just a simple act of saving it. We get an Ashes Charizard moment, really? That's what we're getting right here. And this is frustrating because, you know, I heard folks, I saw folks complain about 2020 reboot. At least in 2020 reboot, they made the distinction that sometimes you have to fight the bad ones. Now, if you can avoid destroying them and make them see the error of their ways, perfect. But that's not how it's all going to work out. We've gone through 10 episodes, 3 partners. I'm going to count the Dark One's evolution. 2 evolutions. I won't count as evolution. 2 evolutions and a hint at a dark evolution. And we're doing the hint at the dark one so early. So what? Is he gonna hug him when he goes fully dark after Heroes gets mangled and beaten up by Digimon because you all refuse to actually take this shit seriously and beat these things? He's gonna get mangled, then he's gonna go fully dark. How's he gonna stop him? You know, walk over and hug him and be like, "It's okay, it's okay, Gamamon, you have to be there," and he's gonna change back. If that happens, I promise you, I'll give that episode a 2. That episode better have the animation better not drop because the animation's been pretty good this whole entire time. Animation better not drop. It better be amazing guest Digimon that makes this happen. It better be freaking my oldest. It better be one of the best freaking enemy Digimon you've ever seen. Better be. I hope it's one of my absolute favorites. And I've seen how they treated some of my favorites. They treat Sealmon pretty bad. Sister My Seal. I'm telling you, I'm calling it now, gang. If That is the result. If that darkness form gets taken away from a hug and not something not where everyone tries to fight, it's like, oh, we have no choice but to fight him. If it's a hug that does it, I'll give it a 2 because I predicted it. Don't make that shit that predictable. I mean, come on. I'm happy. You look at reboot 2020 when Agumon's forms were going into dark mega evolution. He didn't win with a hug. He said, "Hey, buddy, I'm right here. There's no need to be angry. We can get through all this together." I'll take a talking to. I'll take a good talking to. And you know what? That dark evolution to Machine Dramon, that was earned. That was not hinted at in episode 1 and shown again in episode 9. It's like someone's ready to blow their load so fast. We're like, oh, he has a dark form. Can't show it just yet, but here's this. And here's Clockmon again just to remind you guys. So Hiro will be like, oh, I've seen this thing twice. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Why? Hiro could have died last week and he didn't do all that. This is a low 4. I have to give it a low 4. If you liked the episode, I'm happy that you enjoyed it. I'm looking for just one episode where they go, can't reason with this guy. And remember, Dracumon is still out there. Dracumon showed up in what, episode 3? If I time it like this one, we go from 1 to 9, that's 8 episodes. Showed up in episode 3, right? So, showed in episode 3. So, 3 plus, oh lord, 3 plus 8 is 11. Let's see if Dracumon shows up in episode 11 or 12. I'm curious now. I guess these guys are just never going to do... Like, did you guys make these up before you finished the Vital Bracelets? And that's why they're not evolving? Because you didn't go, oh man, shit, they actually need forms. We can't have older Digimon just be their forms. Is that what's going on here? I don't know. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section down below, please. Hit that like button because it definitely helps us out a lot. Helps me out a lot. So hit the subscribe button if you're new here. If you're not new here, hit the notification bell to be notified of more videos like this. And please, do me a favor, share these videos so others can see, what I'm talking about, what we're talking about. I'm looking to be engaging. I promise I won't be insulting if you give me your opinion. If you love this, great. Just tell me why. I actually want to know why people love it if they love it. I'm after next week, it's starting to middle out for me. And I feel bad because Reboot 2020, when I said I'm giving you guys X amount of episodes, they broke through it. As always, thank you for spending some time with me. I definitely appreciate it. Please be good, be blessed, wash your hands, wear a mask, be safe out there. Be good to yourself, be good to others. You're never alone. Either way it goes, don't be a jerk, and I will definitely see you guys next time.